In the words of Chad Leclose's father, this product is simply
unbelievable. 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 I've never been so happy in my life.
Good afternoon, welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety or Wooks Triple XL. And if you have watched a video or three on this channel, you probably are aware that your boy's kind of into mouse. It's a thing that I had to have some self-control and stop purchasing. And now Monka's actually giving me, or Marvo Monka is going to give me even more self-control, because the price versus performance here is unlike anything I've ever seen. I kind of have no words for how good this is. I did their Storm keyboard and it was just exceptional, up and down, the wireless and the battery life and the quality of the materials and the switches and the fact that it was fully modular and you could swap out those switches and keycaps and all of the other bits in between. And this is pretty much like that. They've taken exactly what we want. They've taken feedback from pretty much every forum on planet Earth, and they've created what is the best bang for buck, high-performing mouse you could possibly hope to buy. This little 58-gram mouse over here has a PixArt 3395 sensor in it with some KL switches, but that's not which is, I think, kind of default for this, for the expectation of specification, but at a third of the price of what other premium masks cost. How? Who did you rob? Is basically what I want to know, Marvo. You even managed to do something kind of unique here that I've basically never seen before. Anyway, without further ado, let's go through what's in the box. So inside this very, actually quite nicely packaged unit, over here you get a very nice, easy flex braided cable that is very light as well. So if you do need to plug it in to charge it, then it won't be disruptive. You get a nice tiny little 2.4 gigahertz dongle, and then of course the mouse itself. The physical build of this is very similar in a lot of ways to a lot of the products that you're going to find out there. It actually strikes a little bit Viper Mini, especially if you look at it from top down, then it's going to give you that kind of feeling. It's got the default DPI over there. It's got quite a nice scroll, I've got to say. It's nicely rubberized and in red there just for that Monka accent. It's something that they are doing, which they've done on their keyboard as well, that they're just kind of carrying through on the mouse, which we like a lot. If you look around the bottom, this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. Beyond the PTFE feet that cover the sensor hole and the top and the bottom, which doesn't have the most surface area EU, but with this weight, it honestly wasn't at all disruptive. They actually cut out the bottom instead of doing hex grid on the top. So that's actually going to help with dust buildup, to be honest, because the dust is going to pull down on the top and not rise up from the bottom. So I can kind of see what they did there. They also left a nice little recess on the bottom over there for the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. On the top side of the sensor, you're going to see 3 indicator LEDs there for the 2 Bluetooth modes, and then for the 2.4 gigahertz, you've got a button on the right-hand side to switch between those 3 modes, and then you've got an on-off switch on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side of the mouse, then you've got 2 buttons as per normal for your thumb button areas, and then on the right-hand side, pretty much nothing to talk about. Around the front, there's 2 RGB zones, which aren't really used for much except for indicating which DPI you're at or which profile you're on. So it's kind of like nice to have, but it's not all that showy, and I'm kind of okay with it. I would actually just completely remove it from the mouse to even further save weight. And I would probably take out like another 2 or 3 grams, but this thing is absolutely feathery in its weight. The weight of the mouse is further back in the hand, so it kind of tends to sit further back like that in its feeling. It doesn't have a front leaning kind of setup, which I think is honestly a better way to do things. When you pick up a mouse and it suddenly wants to headbutt the floor, that's not the way I would do things. Now, like I said, this has that PixArt 3395 and it's the PAW, so the lower wattage using setup to enhance the battery life from this device. The main switches are also KLs, so they've got about an 80 million click lifetime. So it's all name brand stuff that's internally within it, and then obviously finished by Marvo Monka. The overall result of this is very, very good. You get a 58-gram mouse that is exceptional, especially if you're an FPS gamer, because it's got 650 IPS and 50G acceleration tolerance. So yeah, it's basically a Model 02 level of mouse, 2600 DPI, almost exactly the same as that. It's just not a tuned version of the sensor. So its tracking is exceptionally good. It's also got lift-off distance control. The software is also, I would say, a little bit clunky, but it works. There's nothing that you're going to be missing, whether it's macros or changing button allocations or doing DPI. It's going to be able to do the settings and such that you want to have. And there's 6 different DPI levels, so it's quite tunable on the fly as well. Performance-wise then, this thing should show up to the party, and boy does it. I did an entire stream of Tarkov on Wednesday, so if you want to check that out, I'll put the link in the comments down below with a hand cam, so you could see me actually using this mouse actively, and it's just been sublime. Whether it was Counter-Strike, whether it was whether it was Battlefield, whatever I was playing at any point in time, I never once felt like this thing had let me down. And the battery life was pretty good too. You can expect 20 to 25 hours worth of continuous use, and you plug it in for an hour and it goes from flat to full. So this thing is literally a premium mouse, but at 550 Rand. Locally, Model 02s go for 1,500. And until I tested this, that was my best sort of bang for buck mouse as it went. I was like, the build quality, everything from that was very good at the money. But now I can get 3 of these for one of those. Even my daily driver, which is a HyperX Pulsar Haze, costs twice as much as one of these. It's kind of begs belief. And that's what I was saying in the beginning with the Marvo Monka Storm. It's exactly in that same vein, where they're giving us everything we want, but at a significantly reduced cost. If Marvo continues on like this, they could become one of the biggest peripheral manufacturers in the world. I don't say that lightly. I've been through so many gaming masks. It's honestly, I've treated them kind of like toilet paper. That's how many I've used at this point in time. And this thing is exceptional. This is going to be my next mouse because I have a wireless mouse for half the price of wired ones with the same kinds of sensors and buttons and feel and setup. This thing was exceptional. We'll have to see how well the batteries and cells and stuff inside the mouse do over its lifetime. But even if it only lasted a year, most of those peripherals other peripherals that I've mentioned come with 2-year warranties, in which case you could buy 2 of these for that same price and then get the added benefit of having wireless. But it still looks pretty good too. It does, like, none of the plastics feel terrible. Nothing about it just strikes me as a product that should cost 550 Rand. I would happily pay $1,000 for this. I would happily pay twice actually what it costs. But Marvo Monka, actually incredible. The more that I use this product line, the more I just want to review all of them. So if you want to see me review some of the other Monka stuff, then let me know in the comments down below. Until next time though, I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, please do this up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.
Gotta get this right, I'm scared to death. Scared of your eyes looking into my